I cannot tell you how much I do not want to do this intro. I've tried to record it 4 times, and through not knowing what to say and technical difficulties, each one has been a disaster. So we're just going to ignore the fact that this would be where I tell you what this channel is, because I don't know. It could be anything. I could talk about paints, or paper, or fountain pens, or ink, or even video games. I'm on a huge sci-fi kick right now, and so it might be sci-fi video games. The alternative to me talking to you about this is that I just blather about inks for 20 minutes. Or pretty dang near 20 minutes. It looks like this video is going to be 19 minutes long. And boy, that's going to be a time. What am I doing? Anyways, this set of inks that I'm swatching in this video is kind of the tail end of my collection of inks and ink samples. It was the stuff that didn't get included in the first set of swatches that I did. I did, nearly 100 on, by the way, God, I hate that orange. It is very, very orange. But it is not the worst orange that I have. I'll say that. What was I talking about? Oh, it's the second set. I had swatched almost 100 inks. Most of them samples. I have an ungodly amount of samples that I would be so happy to share with someone. I've got to figure out something to do with all of these inks, and maybe I can do that as part of this channel. And so these are the inks that didn't get swatched that first time, and so I had to get another set of swatch cards. And so yeah, you will see that I have quite a lot. These are organized pretty nicely by color, but not strongly by color. You'll see when we get to the blues. This is one of the only browns that I have. I swatched all of these inks, and I think I came out with 4 browns. I have more blues than is really decent. Oh my goodness. And there are some inks that cause problems. And diamine writer's blood is one of them. I pulled it up on my kakimori nib, and it just coated everything. It has this weird surface tension that just lets it cling to things, and then it just all comes off at once. This Noodlers Black Swan in Australian Roses has a longer name than is decent, but is probably one of the best Noodlers inks that I have. I really, really, really do not like Noodlers, and I did not realize how much I did not like Noodlers until I started swatching them. And they're all there's something about every single one of them that is just off. Einstein Ring is, I think, a really lovely magenta. and that wet spot will drive me crazy until it's dry. And I think this is an Iroshizuku Yamabudo, which has some really nice, kind of funky sheen to it, which I'm not sure you'll be able to see as this dries. One of the cool things about having this sped up is that you can see the ink drying. I mean, it's not real time because the video is literally sped up, but yeah, I think over to the side you can't really see the sheen. But this one, oh my god. I have so many sailors that are purple. So this is Fuji Sugata. I have just straight up Fuji in my inks. Like, I have a whole bottle of it. They're all of these purples, they're all polychromatic. And here's another Noodlers. This one's not so bad, but this one's also a special edition. I got it from a friend of mine, and I don't have very much. But, like, it's hard to describe how strange it has been to paint with all of these Noodlers. Like sometimes they'll write fine, like not great, but fine. But when you put them down with the brush, they are so strange. I wish that I had more Robert Auster. I love all of the Robert Auster inks that I have, even the samples. And so, even though I don't need any more ink at all, ignore the fact that I got Inkvent this year. I don't actually need it. This is another special edition. I think it's the same special edition as Purple Mountain Majesty. And I do a really bad job of swatching this. It is a really nice green. Like, it looks like spruce trees look. And it just looks black there in the swatch. And so this is Crab Nebula. This is going to be another one that I do a really poor job of swatching. I mean, I love it. I love the color, but it's this really lovely green with a sheen over the top. The really kind of funky fresh sheen that you get with certain inks, but you can't see it because I did a great job. I think you can see the sheen in Aldous Huxley, but that's because Organic Studio, that's all they do is sheen. This is a really pretty blue underneath that sheen. It's like I want to call it purple, but I think that if you look it up online, they're going to call it red. But it's not as intense as something like Nitrogen. The Hyogotsu History Blue is another really pretty blue. I will keep saying this is a really pretty blue until we get to the Noodlers. But I say that about almost every blue that I've met because if you look in at the inks that I have an ungodly amount of blue, you guys. Okay, here it is. Here is the garbage fire. I cannot overstate how terrible this ink is. Like, I knew I wasn't going to use the audio, and I still spent, like, 2 minutes ranting about that stupid ink. Like, you can look at it. Look at how uneven it is. And imagine now that on this paper that is coated so that you can, like, smear things around a little. Like, this paper was designed to be used with fountain pens. Now imagine that immediately soaking up this strange blue ink. I think I had a moment when I swatched Tsukio where I was worried that I had contaminated it with whatever was making 54th Massachusetts weird. But God, and the weird thing about it is that when I wrote with it too, it was fine. I mean, it was one of the first ones that I had written with, and it was fine. I liked it. Summer Hailstone. Hailstone? Hailstorm. It's like this green-gray. It is, when I was swatching it, it is the ink that made me realize that if an ink is named after a rainy weather pattern, I'm just going to be all over it. I'm going to be all about it. So Summer Hailstorm by Van Diemen, Robert Auster's Thunderstorm, and Color vs. Rainy Day are all just mwah, chef's kiss. They're such good colors. And here are Organic Studios Lab Series. I could not tell you what colors these are besides black. I could not tell you if there was a hue underneath them. For Lab Series number 1, I don't think so. I think they're supposed to sheen in some way, but I couldn't tell you what color it is. Like, I think one of them is black with black sheen, which is weird. And I think one is black with green sheen. But don't ask me which one is which. No. I could not tell you. And this is another one of the Oroshizukus. Kiri-same. It is a warm gray. It's almost brown, but it's more gray than brown, so it goes with the grays. And then this set will wrap up with Silver Fox, which I think is just a bit too pale for my taste. Like, it's a nice gray, and like other diamines, I will never say it properly. It writes okay. It's too pale. But now we're going on to we'll go through a couple of will take a while on the Doña Victoria because it stains. It stains so much, and I spent so long trying to get it out of my paintbrush. I even pulled out my master soap, and I think I stained my master soap. But after a couple of standards, then I'll be getting into some shimmers. I like to do them after all of the other standards so that it doesn't infect my regular inks with shimmer. Yeah, it was so bad. I was like, I've got to get new water. This next one is Starry Night. It is this really nice blue-black. If you ask me to define a blue-black, I'm gonna struggle. I really just anything that is even slightly desaturated and dark, it goes in the blue-blacks. And probably the only reason that I have that distinction is because I have so many blues that I need some of them to technically be a different color. This is Dragon Fruit, and I think it's supposed to have some shimmer, but my sample does not have any shimmer. Or if it does, you just can't see it. But I think that if you get a bottle of this from Troublemaker. It comes with gold shimmer. And this is the last of the non-shimmers. It is, I really want to try a lot of the Private Reserve Infinity because they're supposed to be very good at not drying in the feed. And now it is time for the shimmers. The first one is finishing out the Troublemakers. This is Copper Patina. I actually really like the teal that's under here, and I hope that it will show when it dries, but it really does look like patinaed copper. It is really a pretty ink. I should use it more often. Here is Shimmering Seas. I only have a small sample of this. It is a nice, pretty, shimmery, dusty purple. Because I don't have enough purples. That was sarcasm. Yeah, something about the Kakimori nib is that if you do not have it oriented just right, it is really hard. It's almost like it hard starts. This was a fun sample. It was technically free, so if you listen to the Pencast, they'll do a free sample code every week. I was excited to use Golden Barrel. I haven't used it. I have been tempted to put it in some of my super fancy pens because you would think that Pelikan would make inks that you could use with the super expensive Pelikan pens, but I just haven't gotten up the guts to do it. Part of it is because I cannot imagine cleaning out one of those pistons. Anyways, there's some Jack Urban for you. I still can't believe I wrote Jack instead of Jacques. This one always, I don't know why, I always remember it being very green, and it's not. It's not green at all. It's teal. It's almost blue. Oh man, this one. This is probably, no, there is no probably. This is hands down my least favorite Colorverse ink. It is a pain in the ass, it's pale, it is miserable to write with, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this whole bottle. But that is really the last ink that I have, and I will see you again next week. Maybe, probably, hopefully. Bye!